The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and the Tech Insider, David White.
At TFNN.com, the headquarters for technical trading and investing. It is a beautiful September 19th at that headquarters in the world center of trading. That's at least the way I think of it here in Clearwater, Florida. And I come from you Monday through Thursday from a bunker 10 stories below the surface in Tampa. And we'll try to walk and meander through a confusing array of newspaper reports and charts today, because there's a little bit of everything for everyone out here. But we'll try to explain it. On this day in 1975, a manifesto by the Unabomber, an anti-technology terrorist, is published by the New York Times and Washington Post in the hope that someone will recognize the person who, for 17 years, had been sending homemade bombs through the mail that had killed and maimed innocent people around the United States. And rather interesting. Of course, his brother turned him in, and there is a joke that I love like no other, probably my top 5 jokes that came out of this, and of course it can't be told over the air. Oh, how much I would love to tell it. Oh, anyway, it is another great day out here. Of course, I like technology, so this guy, Kaczynski, probably not my favorite guy. He was out in the woods, and someone had changed a flight path. So jets would fly over him at somewhere around 40,000 feet. And just that they were flying over him and leaving contrails was enough to actually put him into action, sending bombs to all kind and sorts of people. We'll look at that. Anyway, we are down 4 points on the S&P cash as we speak. 2.7 billion shares, which is pretty good, especially when we came into this with about 2 billion shares yesterday. So we are about 700 million shares above where we came in the announcement yesterday, maybe 2.2 billion or 2.3 billion by this time. So still a little bit ahead in the volume as we're pulling back slightly. Now most people are on infotainment TV are saying that yesterday was a short covering rally, mostly because of the lack of volume and new buyers. Was an easy washout coming into expiration. At 1721 on the S&P cash, the most likely occurrence and one that the market makers would love to have is that the market comes back and settles at 1700 on the S&P cash. It's going to be hard. We've got a lot of people that were on the wrong side of this trade, and they're going to hold them up. They were on margin, and normally when you get these spikes, they last about 3 days. I don't think we're going any higher, at least through next Wednesday. I think this is a fairly good time to be long volatility. But we'll see how the rest of the day progresses. Of course, the strongest index is the NASDAQ. It's still up 2 points, surprisingly enough. The rest of the market out there, including the Dow, kind of tough to see it get going. So what else do we have going on at here? Of course, we changed the contract, and so it's the whole gold thing is all goofed up here. But we are at 1365 on the Z contract. So we'll have to continue looking at that, but the numbers are going to be off. They're going to look wild if you turn on the news tonight. Silver up $1.59, also a bit weird out here. Well, we get into ones that make a little bit more sense. Crude down $1.50 at 106.59. let's see what else we have going on out here. Apple up almost $10. We talked about how the most likely expiration was somewhere between 465 and 470, and I suspect we'll probably maybe see 470 when Apple pins to expiration at the close tomorrow. It'll probably be somewhere around 470. 475. It's going to be one of those in there. But it's always within pennies of a major marker out there to wipe out as many puts as possible. At least the last 6 months, Apple has been real good. We've got some other stocks that are moving, and we'll get to them in a minute. What I wanted to talk about, a little bit of a follow-up from earlier in the week where we were talking about statistics. If you got a number of people in a room, where do you think the first level where you'd have a 50-50 chance of finding two people with the same birth date? And the reason for these discussions is mostly to get traders thinking in the realm of probability. Unfortunately, humans are horribly adept for real probability, mostly because on the very edges of probability, where it normally would go to zero, you'd think a nice bell curve, almost probability, or a lot of probability, has the trait of fat tails, AE or IE, they turn back up. So anyway, if you have 23 people in one room, there's a 50-50 chance that somebody in that room shares the exact same birth date with someone else in that room, and that includes those pesky leap day people like me. Now, the real question is, at what point do you really get 100% chance of somebody having a birthday in there? And you basically get that with 367 people, of course, because an extra day in a leap year on those particular leap years, and not 366. But that's probably not the real point. The idea is that where do you get 99% chance that two people have the same birth date? And that's actually just 57 people. Most people would, really, can you just have 57 people and have two people with the same birth date out of 365 days? Yes, and the probability is 99%. This is known as the birthday problem. And, of course, if you really want to know 100%, we go back to what is known as the pigeonhole problem. That is, if you have 10 pigeons, 9 holes, you know one of those pigeonholes has more than 2 pigeons in it. It just has to work out. So when we go back to the whole pigeonhole principle and then get into the probability, there are two huge differences. Again, 367 people, even on a leap year, and you know you're going to have somebody with the same birth date. You're going to have to. Now, is 99% probability with 57 people good enough? And I'm going to say probably 50 people and 90% probability would be fine. You jump up and down if you could get an indicator that was anywhere close to that kind of probability in the stock market. But just wanted to bring some of these things up, from the Monty Hall problem to some of the other things. Most people, it is innately a problem that scientists link to the original days of us running around on the plains. I have no idea if that's true or not. I do know that just about anybody I ask, probably, 90 out of 100 people, probably 95 out of 100 people would answer several questions wrong on probability. And even when we get to the Monty Hall problem, we have college professors still not understanding problems like that. So it is something that is not native to any human, and it's something you have to work on. I think about it like when I was learning to fly and they were teaching me instruments flying, that I had to trust the instruments. If I trusted what my body told me, it was going to kill me. And, of course, with simulator, it's nice for them to kill you and kill you again, to drive it into your head that you better be watching those instruments, you better be cross-checking them, and you better probably not be trusting your gut as much as you think. One of the reasons I bring this up is another good one, and that is everybody believes that they can predict world events and even events on a galactic scale. Predictions for 2013 would see an upsurge in solar activity and geomagnetic storms, disrupting power grids and communication systems have proven to be a false alarm. Instead, the current peak of the solar cycle is the weakest in over a century. And this is probably the biggest problem that I have with a lot of people and interjecting their, quote, science into the political arena. And that is that we don't have anywhere close to the amount of data, even if you can infer it from cutting into a tree or going back in. There's a lot of things that can actually mean why something exists, and it's not good. But when they get better at either predicting and get a model that accurately predicts in the future, maybe even a couple of 2 or 3 years, what either the solar weather or the humidity on the planet or anything else, I'll probably start believing it. But until then, until they have a model that actually accurately predicts anything, I'm going to take almost all this stuff that I hear in the news as a grain of salt. Most people, again, have a very poor ability to understand both statistics and probability. The nuclear bond market, we've been talking a little bit about this, but Fitch came out last night and warned that if the judge accepts the current version of the emergency manager of Detroit's Kevin Orr's bankruptcy filing, every other municipal bond in the country would be put on notice. I think he said could, but depending on which you have out there, basically if any illegal standing of bonds and their value do not continue on, the bond market would evaporate for municipalities in the United States. I suspect that someone's going to get down to Detroit and start reading the Riot Act to a lot of these folks, because what would happen tomorrow if you couldn't go out and borrow by selling bonds in your particular city, especially in ones that are horribly cash-strapped like California. We were talking about Apple and its price earlier, but it is what it is, and that is that there's always going to be a handful of press that loves Apple, a handful of press that doesn't like Apple. I'm hoping that I can actually be somewhat sanguine, but we'll talk about this when we come back. But it was predictable.
Andy Hecht, the host of the Commodities Hour, recently launched his newsletter service, the Technomental Commodity Report, and only 6 weeks in, Andy has already recorded a triple-digit winner. Andy advised his subscribers to purchase a long-term call option at 46 cents on July 11th, and then sent out a special update Friday, August 16th, advising his subscribers to close that position at $1.40. That's a 204% profit in just 5 weeks. The Technomental Commodity Report by Andy Hecht is released each Thursday morning, and right now you can get a month-long free trial to this subscription while locking in the low introductory rate of only $39 a month. Andy Hecht has been a commodities trader for over 3 decades. Let his experience work for you. Sign up for your month-long free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report today at TFNN.com.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pezzamento, Andy Hecht, Victor Jones, or Daryl Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risk charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC. Wouldn't it be great if you could get a red light, green light indicator that gives you signals on 25 different futures contracts? Now you can with Taz Signal Box. This red light, green light market profile system dynamically updates 24 hours a day and provides you with important trend and trade signals on 9 different commodities, 9 different indices, and 8 different currencies. Right now you can receive a 2-week free trial to Taz Signal Box. For all the details and to find out how the Signal Box works, visit the front page of TFNN.com. McEwen Mining is a high-growth, mid-tier producer in the Americas with a market capitalization of $1 billion. Experienced mining executive Rob McEwen, as chairman, CEO, and president, owns 25% of the outstanding shares of McEwen Mining and has put in place an ambitious business plan with the goal of qualifying for inclusion in the S&P 500 by 2015. With $70 million in cash and liquid assets as of the end of 2012 and completely debt-free, McEwen Mining is poised for growth. Production in 2013 is forecasted to grow at 24%, reaching 130,000 gold equivalent ounces, and over the next 3 years, McEwen Mining projects that their production will increase to 290,000 gold equivalent ounces, almost a 3-fold increase from last year's totals. If you'd like to find out more about McEwen Mining, click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE or TSX under the symbol MUX.
Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Still meandering down about 3 points from the S&P cash. Anyway, we were just talking a little bit the last few days about how good Apple is at manipulating the press, and there's a nice article out by Peter Scott. I'm trying to remember where it's from. It's probably in about 20 different blogs and online posts out there now. And basically, the subhead is, why not just run ads and get it over with? Basically talking about how much homers on the people that review these new products are, and whether it's tough to get a objective review. In my company, we used to run ads in all the video magazines and stuff like that. We were never going to get a horrible review. Probably really didn't justify it. But even other companies that we knew that had horrible products, it just doesn't do any good for the magazine to go out there and trash the people that are going to actually advertise in it. The whole advertising magazine day is probably gone. But going out and impressing and influencing those people like Walt Mossberg, Total Apple Homer, is fairly easy to do. You do that by making sure that Steve Jobs comes by and personally talks to him and shows him the product, you wine and dine them, you push them, you make sure that they get what they need. I was doing something, I forget what it was, and Sony wanted to basically kind of buy me off, and they had sent a 747 full of sushi chefs over from Japan. This has got to be like 1992 or 1993 or something, and had all these guys, and they put us all in limos and drove us out to the airport, and basically they had been preparing all the food from Japan, and landed on the tarmac. We all drove up. Everybody got on the plane, and for a couple hours they flew us around. Why these Japanese sushi chefs gave us all the food in the world, and it's fairly easy. It's not much different than Washington D.C. There's a lot of subtle corruption that goes on, and there's nothing new about it. But Apple's very good at manipulating the press. For the most part, though, a handful of people. It's easy to go out and get a couple of guys from New York and press them, and your work's pretty much half done. That's why, for the most part, don't read the reviews from those guys in New York. I already know that for the most part, what if they ever had a bad review of the product, they wouldn't get to see the next product. So just always remember to check your sources. And for the most part, I'm gonna listen to reviews maybe online and understand that they may be jaded or hate Apple for some reason, but the preponderance is probably what I'm looking at. But a pretty good article about just give it up. Come on, there's not any real objective ads out there in the Wall Street Journal or in the Washington Post, or the two or three guys that they always say, oh, this got a great review or got a bad review. I'm sure the 5S is a fantastic product. The question isn't, is it a fantastic product? It is, can it compete against a product that sells for a great deal less from Samsung for the most part, and driven by a different model and a different operating system? And that's probably the only thing that really matters. But when you're trying to be cool, the thing is to go out there. They actually call it being a evangelist, and they work very hard at it. What is? Yeah, David Pogue's the other guy. He's pretty good, but he's pretty much the same thing. Mostly these guys are out there. They get wined and dined by Mr. Cook, and they ask them questions that they could care less what their answers are. It's the exact same thing that happens when you go to Washington D.C. You start off, Mr. Smith goes to Washington, and you come out probably facing 15 to 20 years. They're just very good at slowly manipulating everybody out there. Anyway, wanted to go through some stocks that had been making some signals and see how these things are actually doing today. One of them was the ACWI index, which is all these MSCI indexes or international indexes. Going to break. We'll be back in a minute. I'm going to go through a couple of these and then get into some other stocks that are right at the points that should be fairly good.
With the stock market flirting with all-time highs and volatility back, now is the perfect time for a 2-week free trial to Market Insights. On Monday, June 24th, Tom O'Brien closed out all 5 open positions in his daily newsletter, Market Insights, with all trades being profitable and ranging from a 2.23% gain all the way to more than an 11% gain in just one position, for an incredible 32.7% profit combined between the 5 trades. Let Tom O'Brien's years of market experience work for you. If you'd like to see for yourself what kind of trading newsletter Tom O'Brien delivers to his clients each morning, then now is a perfect time to sign up for a 2-week free trial to his daily newsletter, Market Insights. In a volatile market like we currently have, the potential for fast market moves like we've seen recently is a trader's dream. So don't wait any longer. Sign up for your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today at the front page of TFNN.com.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Crocodile Gold. For more information, just click the Crocodile Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Yeah, we're going to look at some stocks that have been moving out here and starting to give some signals. There's a lot of them, or at least there's a start to a lot of them that are up here testing. Of course, this is the ex-U.S. Index Fund. It is an ETF of the world minus us. And I've been kind of watching this one to see whether or not it can hold its highs today. It's ACWX. Last major high out here spiked to $45.72 on May 24th. 1.2 million shares. We've got about 870,000 shares, so probably a good chance we might be able to match the volume. The question is whether or not we can hold the highs out here, which would be very interesting. And again, this is the rest of the world minus us, and kind of an interesting to be watching out here. Now another one, there's some smaller stocks out here that are trying to break through previous highs. They spiked up a little higher this morning. Not a lot of volume when we compare previous highs. Axiom Corporation, ACXM, is another one out here that you want to be keeping an eye on. 2647, 2.7 million shares on July 12th. We got into that today with 900,000 shares so far. So about a third so far. Not a ringing endorsement that we're going to be breaking out to higher prices. Although if we are, I suspect it will be next Tuesday or Wednesday. Alliance Data Systems, ADS. This is another one that is holding at least a higher high out here. Last major high on August 16th, 208.84, 2.1 million shares. Unfortunately, not a lot of volume today, and 1.1 million shares. We have gotten about $4 higher, 3.5, 320, something like that. Above that, this thing just done. Especially when you look at the volume in the last 7 trading days, it's just all but fallen out here. You'd like to see a little bit more interest in a stock when it's hitting highs. Blue Cora, and this one's kind of an interesting one. I've been trying to find a little bit more out about it. I really didn't know a lot about it. Basically, it's online search and tax preparation. Maybe someone else in the den knows something about them, but I've never heard of them before. Interestingly enough, though, they are testing their previous high just from a few days ago on August 2nd, $22, 2.9 million shares. Now we've gone through it, and we're probably going to hold the high unless something major happens before the end of the day. But 22.54, so we went to a high of 54 cents over that previous high. 1.4 million shares, so only about 50% of the volume so far. Another one that's interesting to me is this Beeve Aerospace. It's been making some fairly nice little ABC ups over the last, 2-3 months. But I'm doing weeklies here. No wonder things are looking a little weird. Okay. When I'm looking at this BE Aerospace, it's starting to break through its August 9th high of $73.51, or excuse me, $73.91, 1.4 million shares. Now, what did we get over the last few? And that is 500,000 shares 3 days ago, 575,000, 868,000 yesterday, 868,000, and 400,000 today, and we're pulling back, not into that below that 73.91. But if you do get below that, you're going and close back in that trading range, you're probably going to have a fairly decent sell signal on at least on the top out here in BEAV, which is aerospace company. Bud, they're drinking more of it out here, and unfortunately not drinking more of the shares. This one actually giving a fairly decent signal today that higher prices are not in the cards short term. And one of the things is this thing had a nice kind of ABC move up to it on heavy volume on the first leg, less volume on this leg. But what I'm really looking at is the April 10th high of this year, 101.86, 3.9 million shares. You had basically 1.58 yesterday and 1.8 today. So we're right in the neighborhood of 50-60% of the previous high of this volume, and a close below 101.86 today would be yet another sign that we've had a exhaustion move, which is the way I'm looking at it right now in this market. Exhaustion moves come with huge amounts of volume, and then, of course, they take a while to get back on track if we are going on higher, and I think we could probably see maybe even a week or two of pull back and fill before we're going to go any higher if the market is going to do that. I think we could have just an exhaustion move and a gap down tomorrow, and that could be it also. So I haven't pushed a lot of positions out. I bought yesterday during the show and right after some lottery tickets, albeit basically expirations for Friday, as they were very cheap. Tried to get a few more in the newsletter. They were a little harder to get. I wanted to get the 195s on IBM for tomorrow, and probably not going to get them. Wanted to get them at about 90 cents, which probably would have been the fair price. I think it got down to like $1.05. But I think a pretty good indication that IBM wants to expire at 190 tomorrow, or at least toward that way. Energy bull shares, another one out here that is breaking above previous highs. and not some energy yesterday. Got into up with the ERX with 478,000 shares, but that compares back to the May 22nd high that had 1.2 million shares, and again, just a kind of a pullback out here. You had kind of a small sign of strength yesterday, but you certainly, you should have seen monstrous volume. We ended up with about 4.5 billion shares on the consolidated New York Stock Exchange tape. I was looking for somewhere around 5.5 to really give us an indication that we were having a true sign of strength in the markets. Ford, of course, the big automotive company, it's up here testing its highs today. You'd like to see a little bit more volume. It did break by 9 cents above its previous high yesterday, closed back below it. That's the June 24th high, $17.68, 780,000 shares. Of course, 45 million shares yesterday, 24 million shares today. As long as you continue to close below this 1768, not a really good sign. Energy, not all that bad on this last leg up. You had a nice sign of strength out here at about on the 4th with 69 million shares, but since then the volume has just been falling out like it has been a lot of these stocks. Family Dollar Store, another one up here testing its highs. These are all excellent stocks to be watching. We are getting these kind of low volume moves up here at testing these highs on expiration. Always a good sign to figure out what's going to happen if these do close back below their previous high. In this case, FDO had its August 14th high at $74.44, 1.6 million shares, and we got into that with 870,000 shares yesterday, and 620,000 shares so far today suggests that volume still is not coming in. FISRV, FISV, another one of these testing its previous highs. The August 13th high for it was 102.23, 870,000 shares. We're getting into that yesterday with 482,000 shares. We're closing back below that today on very light volume, although we closed or opened at pretty much the high today. A little bit of reversal or dark cloud cover on light volume out here. Got to be looking at a few of these stocks and thinking, hey, what's going on? Gilead Sciences, another one up here going after its previous high on very light volume. The July 26th high was 64.04, 14 million shares. So last couple of days, what do we have as we go through that high, and that is 5.6 million shares, 7.9 million shares yesterday, and 3.6 million shares today. And it closed back below. Looks like that close, yeah. Looks like we're probably going to get a close back below that previous high. So a lot of these have not given the signal yet. It will be on the close, and it will be CRM. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648. I got a quick question in the den about CRM, so we'll take a look at that. 1 year. Trying to figure out. Yeah, I don't know what's going on out here. Maybe I've got a bug or something. So we'll have to take a look at it. But see. Yeah, I don't see it. So anyway, we're going to go through some of the other stocks. iShares Dow Jones Transportation Index Fund, IYT. Let's get this a little bit better. We've had the transportation index, the IYT, out here banging around these highs. This is the third successive highs, and this is a pattern that some people would call three drives to a top. Now, normally I like to see a little bit more move out here to a top, but this would not be uncommon to see just about a buck difference in the IYT over the last year. We go from the May 20th high at 117.30. You go to the August 1st high at 119.45, and you go to the high today at 120.81. And that gives you 3 higher highs. You're looking for lighter volume. Yesterday volume very light, 262,000 shares. Today, 87,000 shares in that IYT, which is probably going to be more by the time we close. But just a lot of these kind of interesting. Lazard, LAZ. And this is another one that looks like a triple top on lighter volume. This thing tried first on February 7th at 38.36 with 2 million shares. Tried again, went over it on August 1st, spiked into it to 38.77 with 1.9 million shares. So you know you're going to get a retest on this thing. You got a high volume high, untested, even though that's just 100,000 shares short on August 1st. Now, what did we get on September 17th? 1.1 million shares, and of course we're pulled right back into this trading range, and not uncommon to go back here and see what we've got happening in that, but be interesting. Lazard, by the way, operates as a financial advisory and asset management firm. Company offers a financial advisory segment, offers mergers and acquisitions. This thing's up here at these highs without a lot of volume might be a little bearish for the market. Linux International, of course, these guys make a lot of air conditioning and air conditioning systems for big buildings. I've been watching these and this and a few others that are out here in the peripheral markets for housing and business make previous highs or make highs. Now we've got Linux today, LII, I think it is, or it's got to be LII, hitting its July 22nd high, $75.10, 1.2 million shares. Went over it today by about 67 cents, but we are closing back below it with 430,000 shares. So pretty. Are we seeing some real big light volume pushes back up to these highs? No, but when we certainly get to them, we're seeing a very light when it comes back up here. Liberty Media Company, another one out here testing its previous highs on lighter volume, 149.02 on August 6th. That's LMCA for the ticker symbol. Basically 600,000 shares yesterday, and just 427,000 so far today. But we've closed back into that high, so you have made the first sell signal on these. And like I said, most of the energy on the way down, about the same on the way up if you're watching my power law vector indicator number here. And it just no volume when we have the push. Certainly had a great opportunity today to go back and push through these things on higher volume. And maybe we're taking a breath for early next week, but I suspect we're probably going to pull back just a little. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648. We're going to be back with Victor from New Jersey in just a few minutes.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's trading newsletter.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the Forex market, and more. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you the edge you've been looking for. Try patterns, profits, and peace of mind absolutely free for 2 full weeks. That's an $85 value. Yours free when you register right now.
Get Larry's patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
And get the edge you've been looking for.
On Wednesday, August 14th and Thursday, August 15th, Tom O'Brien advised his Gold Report subscribers to close out 6 of their 9 open positions, all winning trades ranging from a 10.6% profit to an incredible 48% profit in just one equity. And all 6 of those winning trades had been initiated no earlier than just the previous month. With the 600th weekly Gold Report issue fast approaching, Tom O'Brien brings an incredible wealth of knowledge and experience to the gold market and the equities within the industry. That's almost 12 years since this powerful newsletter first began, and right now you can get a 30-day free trial to the Gold Report by visiting TFNN.com. Make sure you're a subscriber, as this volatile gold market provides trading opportunities after declining all the way from $1,900 to under $1,200 an ounce in only 2 years. Get your 30-day free trial to the Gold Report today by visiting TFNN.com. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Questions are the answer. You want a better life? Ask a better question. My driving force in life is, how can I become the intelligence behind financial freedom? It's why I take massive action. It's why I've invested over 10,000 hours and thousands of dollars to create the answer, the ultimate money machine. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, and on Friday, September 27th, I'll be hosting a one-day online master trader course, The Ultimate Money Machine, where I'll teach you the exact same trading strategies that I use every day when trading the markets and advising my newsletter subscribers. Learn how to precisely identify the market's next move, when to pull the trigger by letting the market commit to you before you commit to it, and how to manage your trade to maximize your results, just as we did in the month of August, when I advised my newsletter subscribers of 11 new trades resulting in 1 loss and a combined profit of 129%. Our next move? It's days away. The cost of this course, $595, less than $2.50 per trading session over the next year. If you're looking for the answer, it's the Ultimate Money Machine. All the details on the front page of TFNN.com.
Join Andy Hecht as he teaches you how to make money in commodities. The Commodities Hour, next on TFNN.
Yes. Oh, I'm pretty sure that's the James Gang. I like that. Maybe we'll hear more of it tomorrow. But anyway, we are looking at Google. We had a question in the den whether or not Google had topped out. Certainly made a very clean signal with a 50% lighter volume test of the high when you go back and look at it. The May 20th high at 920 had almost 4 million shares. Had just under 2 million shares on July 15th. It had come back down and, of course, gone below the previous low of June 6th, 847.22, 2.5 million shares. Gets below it with 1.8 million shares on August 30th. So what do you have? It can't bust out the highs, can't bust out the lows. It's going to go try to bust out the high again. And for the most part, probably not a lot of energy to push this one back up and back down. Now, I'm going to classify Google as one of the few stocks out here that probably is going to be the last one to go down with the ship if we classify the ship as the indexes. The reason why is the same reason when we look at companies like Boeing. That is, they have a huge model, a huge base of advertisers. They're not dependent on any single customer. They have orders out the wazoo for years. Now, can Google pull back to 720 over time? Yeah. Right now, I don't see anything in the chart that says anything more than this thing is now probably permanently trapped in a trading range somewhere between that 845 and 928. And the question is, how long is it going to go sideways in here before it either breaks down or breaks up? And it's going to be tough a question. I just don't. Sometimes there just isn't a good call one way or the other. If anything, this thing is a channeling stock until we see a lot of energy come in or come out of it one way or the other. But unfortunately, this is much like the stock market out here, which is the energy up is almost always the energy down and not giving us a good indication of where this thing's going to break out. One of the ones I wanted to get to for the end of the show is Paychex. Paychex, P-A-Y-X. And this is one that everybody should be watching because, of course, when this starts headed down, probably the U.S. is headed down also. One of the things that I dislike most about this market right now is Paychex testing its high yesterday on much lighter volume. Last time we were up here, August 2nd, had 3 million shares. Made a little hammer up here, and that was pretty much at the top at $40.84. Went through that yesterday with 1.7 million shares, and of course today 680,000 shares. And what you really want to be watching is if Paychex closes below this $40.84 high, and that's going to probably be the stock that I'm looking at the most, along with Budweiser and some of these others out here, the IWN. A lot of these things up here, just very, very light volume. It may take a couple of days for these to come to fruition, but we're either going to get volume in these things, or these things are going to pull back into the trading range and may see what we see right now in Google, which is a larger trading range, maybe back down to the 1630 range on the S&P. Anyway, we should be hearing, yeah, there it is. Should hear the end of the music there. Anyway, we'll be in studio tomorrow. And as always, same bat channel, same bat time. See you tomorrow.
Recently, Basil Chapman has had some outstanding trades in his newsletter, The Opening Call. Each morning by 9 a.m., Basil uploads his newsletter to the TFNN servers so that his subscribers can access his expert trading advice. Basil gives his take on the direction of key indices and updates any active trades that his subscribers are currently in. Just recently, Basil subscribers closed out a short position in Chipotle Mexican Grill, CMG, for more than an $86 profit per share, over a 20% gain in just one position. If you'd like to try out Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, then visit the front page at TFNN.com and click Trading Newsletters. There you'll find Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, where you can request a free sample copy. Also, don't miss Basil's program, The Tiger Technicians Hour, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, on TFNN.